welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Christina, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you an unboxing from The Good and the Beautiful because their early bird sale starts now. Alright you guys, I'm going to share with you some of the stuff I got to give you maybe some inspiration or ideas or help you make some decisions for curriculum you might want to grab during the early bird sale. Okay, so first up I got my language arts and math. I figured I might not know exactly when we're going to finish the levels that we're currently on. I don't worry so much about that. If you've been around here, you know that. But I do know that whenever we're done, we're gonna need the next level. So I went ahead and I got level 1 handwriting. I love the handwriting for The Good and the Beautiful, from The Good and the Beautiful. I've been using it for years with my kids, and I just feel like it really helps them not only have neater handwriting, but also learn cursive, which I do think is important. And I feel like it helps with a variety of things. I also like how the things that they're writing, when they're writing out different things, will be like poetry and positive things about nature and God and family and all of that, which is another reason that I love the Good and the Beautiful curriculum in general. So I got the level 1 language arts. So this is beautifully done as usual. I love the language arts curriculum from The Good and the Beautiful. As a former high school English teacher, I feel like I have really high standards for language arts, and truly The Good and the Beautiful exceeds my standards for language arts. They really are so well done, and I love that it combines all of the different elements of language arts as opposed to having to have a different curriculum for every aspect of language arts, to have a reading curriculum and a spelling curriculum and a grammar curriculum and literature and all of the different things. I love how it's seamlessly woven together. It's open and go and makes your life so much easier as a homeschool mom. So the level 1 has the course book and then the reading booster cards. These are going to help them strengthen their reading skills. And my kids love that there's a little spot to put a sticker when they mastered that particular page. They can go in the back and grab a sticker and put it there. And then these are shown throughout the course where you should be in the reading booster cards for them to be like at the right place in terms of their skills and their reading level. So they'll be not on every lesson, obviously, but on particular lessons, there'll be a little target and tells you like, at this point in the curriculum, you should have mastered through card 11, for example. So that is level 1, and then you just grab the handwriting separately if you want that. And then there are the Reading Bee booster books. These books are so cute. I love their little book sets, their little readers. My kids, my 6 and 7-year-olds have gotten a ton of use out of them. I'll just give you a peek at these. Tons of little books that work on the same concepts covered in the curriculum and in the reading booster cards. And I like that the books make sense. I feel like a lot of beginning readers don't make a lot of sense because they're trying to just use particular words, which is okay to an extent, but not if your kid is like, this isn't making sense, what are they talking about? So I really like the way The Good and the Beautiful does that. I also got handwriting level 2. So it's going to just build upon what was in level 1. And then I got the level 2 language arts. And again, I love how they just blend seamlessly with the other resources. For example, for level 2, you're gonna have the C cards for the reading boosters. And again, you're just practicing the concepts in the language arts course. Things like poetry in there, different blends, things like that. And then once you get to level 2, you don't have the little reading booster books anymore. You have these shared readers, which I really loved when I did these with my now 10-year-old. There are 2 books, and these are a shared reader between the parent and the child, and it's really cool because you're taking turns, and there'll be a part for the child to read that is going to be like larger font, more space in between, easier reading level for them, and then they're also going to have the benefit of hearing you read aloud, which helps build their fluency, their vocabulary, all of that, and their comprehension. And it's a great way to support their reading through them actually reading and listening to you read, and it also helps you assess their reading as you're listening to them read aloud. The course itself will tell you in the lessons what chapter to read for that day as part of the language arts lesson, if you're unfamiliar with the Good and the Beautiful language arts. So it makes everything super seamless, where you just open up and you just follow the instructions for the day. I also got the level 1 and 2 for math. So I love how the Good and the Beautiful comes with the manipulatives that you need for the course. So the math boxes will have all of the little manipulatives that different activities in the lesson call for. So for example, that's the math level 1 box. And then look at how beautiful this math curriculum is. I feel like if my math curriculum looked like this as a kid, I would have liked math more. So it's so beautiful and colorful and engaging and interactive. Again, I love that for the parent, this is open and go. So you just open up, it tells you exactly what to do, and even word for word what to read to the child. And then there are activities for them to do to practice the concept that you've learned. So this is level 1. And then I also got level 2. And they use a spiral approach so that there is a lot of review, which I feel like works really well, especially for helping kids not forget what they learned. So they might master a concept and then 3 months later, they've completely forgotten it because they haven't reviewed it or practiced it at all. So I really do like the spiral approach. So they'll learn a new concept and then they'll have the lesson practice. But then they'll also have the independent review, which will review concepts from previous lessons. And then level 2 also has its own math box to go along with the lessons. I also got math level 5 for my 10-year-old so that as soon as she is done with level 4, we can jump right in. Math 5 is also beautifully done. It sticks with the same engaging and familiar format from the previous lessons, but it just calls for them to be a little bit more independent. So it does not have a manipulative box anymore. That is replaced by mental math. And this I really love because as they become more independent with their lessons, it still gives you a point of connection with them. So for mental math, if you're not familiar with how it works, if you flip to any given page, you're gonna hold this up for them. They're going to give you the answers that they're figuring out like in their mind. That's why it's called mental math. And the other side is the answer key. So you're just holding it up for them and you can see the answers as they're responding. And then you just check it off when you're done. And each lesson will direct you to do that. And then also what I love is when you get to level 4 in the Good and the Beautiful, there is the video lesson option. So they could independently read the lesson in here. So it's not like they have to use the video. So there is a mini lesson. So they could either read it, or if they need more support, or if you just want to be more involved in their lesson, you could read it to them, or they can go ahead and watch the video and then do the lesson practice. And it still follows that same format where they have the lesson practice, which practices what they learned in the lesson, and then also the review. And in older levels, it also is going to come with an answer key so that either you can have them check their answers after they're done, or you can check them with the answer key. The next thing that I did get for next school year is the high school level 1 English. And I got this for my 14-year-old. He is technically a 9th grader this year, but I didn't end up having him do level 1. We were still working on level 7, which is actually more like a level 8 or level 9. From my perspective, like I said, as a former high school English teacher, I taught various grade levels, but mostly 10th grade. And I can tell you that their level 7, some of my 10th graders would have struggled with. So I felt totally fine with that. And then what I also got him are these level 8 honors book studies. So before we jump into the high school level 1, I'm gonna have him do these because these are formatted much like how the high school level 1 is, where they read the book and then they're doing readings like to prepare for the book. They're doing vocabulary in here that's related to the book, spelling, literary analysis, all of that. So I feel like these are a great transition in between what he's doing with level 7 and then what he's moving into with level 1. Level 1 has a beautiful collection of books that are part of the curriculum. My oldest actually did this curriculum and he really liked a lot of the books. So they'll go through Patterns on the Wall, Just David, Into the Unknown, Up from Slavery, and also John Greenleaf Whittier. The way that the high school courses are set up though are different in the sense that it does not give them like lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3, all of that where they do a lesson a day. It leaves the pacing a little bit more up to them or you or both. So it is broken up into 10 different units and each unit has its own booklet and will be a combination. Like for example, right here you have an introduction to the book Just David. You're learning about the author and the context of the book. There'll be some reading assignments and writing assignments throughout. There will be some art study, which will be in some way related to the readings, vocabulary. There's even some geography and mapping throughout. So I believe they get like a half a credit for geography. I'd have to double check on that. But there's poetry, and there are 10 different units for high school level 1. So my now 9th grader will be doing this for his 10th grade year. Also comes with the grammar and writing guide that has all of the different grammar rules, writing rules, and support in here. And then there are the grammar and geography cards. And then lastly, I did grab a few books. So I did get the My Second Nature reader. I meant to mention this when I was talking about the level 1 language arts. These are not necessary for the curriculum, but they do align with the curriculum. So you don't need these if you do the level 1 curriculum. And also you could do this even if you're not doing the language arts curriculum, just as a reader, but it will tell you like exactly what thing they're practicing as they read it. So I really like these. We have the My First Nature reader, which aligns with the kindergarten curriculum. And so I wanted to continue that with the My Second Nature reader. But then for other just books in general that I got the new series, Violet and the Volcanoes. These are a level 5 book. I got these for my 10-year-old and they have book 1 and book 2 so far. So I got these for her for just like independent reading, because also in the language arts, it will tell them that part of their lesson for the day is 20 minutes of reading from the Good and the Beautiful book list. Now, obviously you can decide as the parent what reading it is and if you want it to be from the Good and the Beautiful book list, but I typically do, or I find a book that's like, that I feel like is just as good. But the Good and the Beautiful book list has really high standards in terms of like literary value, morals, all of that. So I really do like to stick with that. And then if she wants to do like independent reading on her own, that's not maybe as challenging or as rich, then she can do that, but it doesn't count for like that academic reading portion, if that makes sense. And then I also got her books 5 and 6 from the Lantern Lane series. These are like a 7-8 level. And I think it's really cool because books 1 and 2 in the Lantern Lane series are a level 6, and then books 3 and 4 are a level 7. And then books 5 and 6 are like between a level 7 and a level 8. So these books kind of like grow with them as their reading level progresses. So I thought that's kind of cool. And then lastly, I got them the flower game, which I'm really excited about because they tend to really enjoy learning games. And I thought it was just like fun for spring and summer for them to kind of have that. I'm just gonna open it up so we can look at it. So you can have that fun game that kind of relates to the season a little bit. They have the Birds of Prey game. They have Snowy Owl Subtraction and Anteater Addition. So they really do like the learning games from the Good and the Beautiful. So I figured we would try the flower one, if I can get it open. And so they're typically just like a really cute card game. It's going to help them learn to identify different types of flowers. So I just thought that that would be a fun one for spring and summer. So that is everything that I got this time around from the Good and the Beautiful. I thought it was a perfect time to share it with you guys while you're thinking about what you might want to grab from the early bird sale. Obviously, there's plenty of time, so there's no pressure. Have been many times where I've ordered curriculum in July, August, September, October, even throughout the year. But if there are some basics that you know that you're going to need and you just want to have them ready to go for whenever you finish the level before that, or if you're looking to try out something new, this would be a great time to grab it. That way you know you have it and you don't have to be worried about things selling out and waiting because they're back ordered or whatever it may be. So I wanted to make sure that I shared not only the sale with you, but some of the stuff that I got to give you some ideas about things that you might want to get for the sale. So if you have any questions, drop them down in the comments below, because I have used so much curriculum, books, and resources from the Good and the Beautiful over the years. So definitely let me know if you have any questions. The link to the early bird sale is down in the description box below. I will also very soon be sharing my curriculum choices for each grade level separately, where I'll show you everything that I'm using for each grade level. So let me know if you have any requests for like more of an in-depth look at any of this curriculum, and I'll do that either in my curriculum choices videos or as a separate video if there's one that a lot of you really want to see. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you soon in one of my next ones. Until next time, stay rooted.